Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Jurassic World video. We haven't done one of these in a while, but we're back again with the series that I started back in the summer of 2022. We've been discussing each and every character and or species from the Jurassic franchise in one video, and going over their entire story from the timeline. We've covered Rexy, Blue, Asset 87, even Isla Nublar, and also some meme characters like Quilliam from Jurassic Park 3. While we haven't quite yet done a human character from this franchise, I do promise that is currently on the way. We haven't done a video like this for a long while now, so much so that this is in fact the first one of 2023. Wow. Well, let's hope it's a good one, as today we're discussing the entire story of the Mosasaurus from Jurassic World. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite have a name, but I have seen some fans call it Moss. But I do promise you we're not really going to go with that name, however. The Mosasaurus is probably the largest prehistoric species that's been brought back from extinction within this universe, the movie universe. It's not a species we know too much about, but it's a species that we've seen quite frequently. Often underused, the Mosasaurus still has made its way into the hearts of many fans from this franchise. So, with this fan favourite story not discussed too much, please enjoy today's video about the entire story of the Mosasaurus, Jurassic's first aquatic reptile. The story of Jurassic's Mosasaurus doesn't actually start in its year of birth, but instead we must travel back in time to the year of 2000, more specifically August 25th, 2000. Scientists and excavators for Dr. Wu's science team within InGen were able to identify traceable DNA samples of recently excavated Mosasaurus specimens. Dr. Wu confirmed that this would probably be the only way to clone prehistoric marine reptiles, as it's almost impossible to discover amber that was encased with DNA of marine reptiles. So, the Mosasaurus DNA was discovered via the fossils of this creature. Moving on a few years while the technology to create aquatic reptiles was perfected, we go past the year where Jurassic World first opened. But just 1 year after opening in 2005, the Mosasaurus was ready for release and birth in 2006. You can see in the original concept artwork of Jurassic World that the lagoon was included and that they always intended to build this lagoon for the Mosasaurus, knowing that they now have the possibility to create marine reptiles. The Mosasaurus was first released in 2006, once it was ready to live within the 3 million gallon lagoon that was built specifically for it. As we know, the Mosasaurus was also not a pure breed, and thus had some other genomes spliced within its DNA. This made the Mosasaurus to grow to a whopping 85-foot length, and that made it the largest carnivorous creature to ever live on planet Earth. A creature that you don't want to see whilst taking a swim in the ocean. Not much is known as to what the Mosasaurus did between the years of 2006 and 2015, but we assume that she mainly just swam around, ate sharks, and every now and then she had the courtesy to provide some shows for the audiences to enjoy. Before we continue her story, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video, as we cover all things Jurassic on this YouTube channel. Whatever questions that you may have about this franchise, I'll be sure that you can probably find an answer by watching some of my videos. We're celebrating JP30 in June, and it's expected to have some awesome announcements when it does come by, so be sure you're staying tuned on the channel for exactly that. The next reported situation that the Mosasaurus was in during this timeline would be the Jurassic World incident of December 2015. We see the Mosasaurus take part in some shows for the guests of Jurassic World, as well as eating an entire great white shark. During the evacuation of Jurassic World, tens of thousands of people flee the island while 6 teenage campers were left behind. During their events and run-ins with dinosaurs such as the Indominus Rex, they also have a near-death experience with the Mosasaurus. When the campers accidentally arrive onto the surface of the Mosa Lagoon, the Mosasaurus starts to suss them out and circle them, knowing that it could be easy dinner for her. The campers realise this and attempt to make an escape, not before Yasmina looks to have sacrificed herself to save the rest. She narrowly avoids the jaws of the Mosasaurus after the Mosa jumped out of the water and missed her ever so slightly. After this appearance, the Mosasaurus isn't seen until she jumps out of the water after hearing all of the commotion happening on Main Street. The Mosasaurus jumps out and devours the Indominus Rex and brings her down to the lagoon. The Mosasaurus forms a death roll within the water, causing the Indominus Rex to be torn apart while submerged. Her next known appearance would be during the events of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 2. In episode 1 of Season 2, the campers arrive to Main Street after being left behind the night before, and they realise that some big fight occurred on Main Street. One of the characters, called Brooklyn, voiced by Jenna Ortega, notices some remains of the Indominus Rex floating around in the water of the lagoon. Darius comes on over to take a look, and they both agree that they don't have to worry about the Indominus Rex, as they realise it's the Indominus's remains floating around. This also explains why the full skeleton isn't shown in Fallen Kingdom's opening. The Mosasaurus wasn't seen too much again until the month of June 2016. However, since there is a retcon to the location of the lagoon from Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, our best explanation to the change of the lagoon would be that some sort of Earth event occurred that then caused the canals connecting to the lagoon and ocean completely fill up. But again, that's the only reasonable logical explanation that we have for that for now. Other than that, it's a little bit confusing to explain. While this may not be canon, the Mosasaurus is seen in Hidden Adventure, where she jumps out of the lagoon to kill Darius, should you make the wrong decision in this interactive episode. But the next official canonical appearance comes in a dual showing. During 2018's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's opening sequence, this takes place in June of 2016. We see her stalking Dr. Wu's fellow workers, attempting to retrieve the Indominus Rex sample. Eventually, however, we see that she kills the light on the little submarine vehicle, implying that she killed both of the people within it. After this, she sees a helicopter and jumps through the water to kill the yellow jacket guy named Jack. However, not only do we see this event occur in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but we also get an alternate perspective of this in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 3. We can see that the campers watch Jack get eaten by the Mosasaurus standing off to the distance. We then see the Mosasaurus swim out into open waters within Fallen Kingdom, which then sets up her next appearance in Camp Cretaceous Season 4. The next morning, in the open waters of the Pacific Ocean, the campers think that they found their way off of Isla Nublar after a long and painful 6 months. Little did they know that the Mosasaurus was released from the lagoon as we saw in Fallen Kingdom, and was following them the morning after. The Mosasaurus then stalked the boat, and eventually whale dived onto the deck of the boat, destroying it almost completely just off the shore from Manticore Island. This then left the kids to wash up on Manticore Island to begin the events of Camp Cretaceous Season 4 and 5. After this, we have to wait a while before we see any Mosa action, an entire 2 years. Now, we move into the year of 2018. For 2 years now, the Mosasaurus has been living in the wild, free roaming the entire Pacific Ocean. We know that within those 2 years, the Mosasaurus was able to swim all the way towards the islands of Hawaii, where she's seen interrupting a surfing session, and she eats at least one surfer in that area. And when I think about it, it's incredible how she didn't beach herself whilst doing exactly that. But she's a smart cookie and was able to be aware of the shallow waters in front of her. We can also see a similar perspective of this in the motion comic series that are in fact canonical to the Jurassic universe, and you can check out on the Jurassic World YouTube channel. After this, the Mosasaurus' sightings reduced to next to none for another 2 years, until we approach the year of 2022. By 2022, a route around the Pacific Ocean had been discovered by the public that shows that the Mosasaurus was touring the depths of the Pacific Ocean. We can view her entire route via the Dino Tracker website. This route begins off the Central American coastline before moving into deeper water, crossing the sea to Hawaii. After this, its migration takes towards North America, sometimes appearing near Alcatraz Island, Cape Perpetua, and Seattle, Washington. Then it heads further north into colder waters, residing within the Bering Sea, where it has made a habit of stealing fish from fishing vessels. Sightings have been reported near Catherine's Hook in Alaska, and following the curve all the way to the Aleutian Islands. The Mosasaurus eventually nears Japan, where it has been sighted near Okinawa. Then it continues south, arriving near Auckland, New Zealand, crossing the entire southern Pacific. In the meantime, during this migration movement of the Mosasaurus, we see her disturb some fishermen on a boat in the Bering Sea in Jurassic World Dominion, as she attempts to catch a cage full of live fish. This was soon reported on the Now This segment of Jurassic World Dominion as well, where we can see an overturned vessel. After her tour of the Pacific Ocean, and coming face to face with humans every now and then, we see that she finds sanctuary alongside some humpback whales in a montage sequence at the very end of Jurassic World Dominion. The camera cuts away to continue the montage, and that's officially the last we ever see of Jurassic World's Mosasaurus. So, the Mosasaurus' story in the Jurassic timeline is something we sadly don't know too much about. Sure, we know how she was made and when she was born, and what she got up to during her appearances via the websites, shows and movies. But she's sadly never been the main focus of one of these movies, and has always taken a back seat. It would be really cool to see some sort of limited series that's similar to the Meg movies, but have it so some deep sea workers have to try and track down the Mosasaurus and attempt to kill her. Unsuccessfully, of course. I don't know, to me at least she seems like she's really underused, and just like Ben Pincus said in Camp Cretaceous Season 2, I feel like we're not getting our full use out of the Mosasaurus. I'm sure she'll live to be very, very old in this franchise, so hopefully there's enough time to bring her in more shows and movies. She's not going anywhere soon, but in the meantime, she's done just enough to stay in the hearts of many fans. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. JP30 is right around the corner, so stay up to date with the news and information from that celebration by clicking the bell notification when you do subscribe. But most importantly, I hope you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.